Welcome in or welcome back. I'm Deb from DG Reads, and this is my furry sidekick Kylie, and we're here today to talk about goals for 2025. The end of 2024 has been rough. There's been a lot of health issues going around between family and Kylie and myself, and there's just been a lot on my plate. So I am here hoping that 2025 is going to make a turnaround and bring back some positives and happiness and all the rest. I always love this time of year to start planning what is next year going to look like, start fresh with a new spreadsheet, a new journal, a new everything to kind of set up what my objectives are for the new year. In terms of tracking my reading, I do use primarily Goodreads in terms of the various social media platforms, although I do have accounts on Fable and the Storygraph as well. I also have a spreadsheet that I've been adapting every year to plan out my TBRs and to track my pages and genres and series and everything read throughout the year. And in terms of a paper planner, I do use a pre-printed planner for the year. I like these dashboard layouts where I list all the books I'm reading in any given week with different colored pens. On each day of the week, I track how many pages in that book I read. I can track how many pages per day I'm reading and my weekly totals. I also list in here all of my books hauled and keep track or a tally of how many books I'm also in hauling, with the idea of trying to see how many I'm bringing in versus how many I'm letting go of. And this year, that didn't go so well in terms of keeping that balanced, but I'm hoping to do better in 2025. I'm going into the new year planning to participate in a lot of different reading challenges. Reading challenges is something that I found before I found the book community, and I've been participating in them for years, and that's what actually led me first to Bookstagram and then to BookTube. And I really enjoy having prompts that help me pick what books to read. So a few of the ones that I'm participating in are Around the Year in 52 Books. This is a Goodreads group, and every year the group develops its own prompts for 52 weeks of the year, and they nominate prompts, workshop them all together, and vote which ones make it onto the final list of 52 prompts. Two other reading challenges that I've participated in off and on for the last couple of years are the 52 Book Club and Pop Sugar, and for these, some of the prompts are really ultra specific and don't really match my reading tastes, so I'm picking and choosing from those lists and putting the majority of the prompts on my list, but not necessarily every single one. I will also, of course, be using my 25 in 25 bingo board created by Bree at Four Paws in a Book, and the Horror Bingo Reading Challenge developed by Sarah at Wicked Reading that I've already started on, and I've had full TBRs for those both out already, and of course I will have all of these things linked down below. In terms of how I will be incorporating these additional reading challenges into my reading, the prompts for these are all going into my prompt ball machine. Prompt ball is definitely coming back for 2025. This is something that I really enjoy using each month to help pick my TBR, and occasionally use it just as a reading challenge to just use prompts for the week to get through some books on my shelves. If you haven't seen my January TBR, I have done a full refresh with all of the prompts in the prompt ball machine, reprinted them, incorporated all the new reading challenges into those prompts, and I have also added some additional prompts that are going to add a little chaos. So maybe reading 2 books instead of just 1, or having to combine prompts in a creative way. Prompt ball is something that I've always found very useful in terms of helping me pick up books that are on my shelves, because it gives me a prompt, it lets me physically go through my shelves and try to find something to match it. And reading from my shelves is definitely something I want to do more of and more consciously in 2025. I think I did pretty well this year getting to some backlist books on my shelves, but it is something I want to put more conscious effort into. And as such, I've decided with my prompt ball that the objective is at least half of the books I pick for prompt ball need to come physically off my shelf. And if I can't make that work, then I will have to add some additional prompts to make sure that I hit that goal. In addition to prompt ball, another way that I've been tackling my physical shelves is with my procrastination project. And this is something where I try to put an audiobook hold on Libby through the library on as many of my physical books that I own as possible. This helps remind me that these books exist because the holds come through with Libby and it tells me it's time to read these books. So with my procrastination project, I spend a week or thereabouts where I have to read one of the top 3 holds that have come in from my Libby holds. And for the most part, these are physical books on my shelf. I did 2 rounds of this in 2024, and this is something I'm definitely looking forward to bringing back in 2025. 2 kind of genres that I want to pay some attention to when it comes to getting to the physical books on my shelves are 2 that I keep saying I want to read more of, but then somehow just never do, and that's nonfiction and short story collections. I really enjoy both of these types of books when I pick them up. They just keep getting pushed aside for some reason. So my goal is at a minimum each month to get 1 short story collection and 1 nonfiction onto my official TBR. I didn't do that in my January TBR video, though I have added that since then, but going forward I will be highlighting that in my TBRs each month to hold myself accountable. Something that I've really done a lot of in 2024 that I've truly enjoyed has been buddy reads, and this is something that I definitely want to continue. I want to make sure that I am participating in read-alongs, in book clubs, in anything where I'm picking up books that sound interesting, or even ones that push me a little bit outside of my comfort zone, but I have people to talk to about them and discuss, and that's one of my favorite things about the book community in general. There are a couple going into the year that I'm definitely participating in as one of the hosts. First of all, on Bookstagram, I do have a classics buddy read. We do have the full 2025 list of books that we're reading this year, and I'm really excited because we've kind of hit some of the big name classics, and we're starting to hit some that have been recommended to us that I've never even heard of, or some fun mysteries, some romances, things that just have me excited for the new year of classics reading. I co-host this one with a couple of people. We've been doing it for a few years now. It's a very chill buddy read chat on Instagram at the end of each month. So if you're ever interested in joining in, please let me know. We'd love to have you. And then the Catch Up Book Club is starting FaithFallAlong, which is reading all of John Gwyn's books that are set in the Banished Lands. And of course, this is the book club that is hosted by Becca at Becca in the Books, and she has very kindly let me be part of joining in with the co-hosts for this round. We're going to be starting with Malice by John Gwyn. This is actually the November and December read, but the live show for this will be in mid-January, and therefore this will be one of the first books that I'm picking up for the new year. We're reading this whole quartet, and then there's a trilogy set in the same world that happens years after I think this ends. I'm also excited that the Wheel of Time Along, for which I have been invited to be a co-host, will be finishing up Wheel of Time. We've got 3 more books to go, and live shows for those will be in the even months of the year. And this is, of course, the read-along that was started by Sandra at Got a Thing for Things, and I'm very excited to be part of this. There's going to be a huge serotonin boost when we finish the final book, I think, and I'm really looking forward to reading the books that were authored by Brandon Sanderson, completing the vision of Robert Jordan for these titles. And then I'm making a point of leaving room in my TBR each month for some impromptu buddy reads. And I love that this does leave me room to read books I know I'm going to love, but also read some that are pushing me a little bit outside of my bounds, because I've found some that way that have truly become favorite reads. And lastly, in terms of reading goals, series. Series always have to be on this particular list. I think I did pretty well this year with making a point of trying to finish some series. I made myself a priority list of series that I want to get through, even though I can already name probably 10 more series that I left off of that list that should have been there. And in terms of actually setting a more concrete and measurable goal, I think my ideal would be to have less than a third of the series books I read be starting new series. And part of that is going to be obviously reading more continuations and up-to-date books and reading final books, but also making more of a conscious decision when I've started a new series about whether it's a series I really and truly want to continue or not. If it's something that I don't think I'm going to remember enough a year from now to actually be able to continue the series and pick up the sequel when it comes out, and I'm not bothered about rereading it to do that, then I need to mark it as a DNF and just accept that it's not a series that I really feel feel the need to continue on with. So that's something that I'm going to be working on for the new year for sure. In terms of my content in this channel, I still feel like I'm pretty new here, even though it has been 8 months or so. I do want to be very careful that I'm not reading just for content. I do want to make sure that when I'm doing a theme that gets me very excited, that I'm reading books that I really want to read anyway, or ones that are already on my shelf, and not just picking up books purely because they meet a theme. I love doing theme vlogs. I love finding ways to incorporate themes into other parts of my life and include that in the vlogs, and that's something I want to continue as long as it's not impacting my reading enjoyment. Because in the end, the ultimate goal for 2025 is to keep reading fun. And I think I did that pretty well this year. I think there were a couple of slumpy periods, and any reader, I think, pretty much has those on occasion. But I think that 2025 is going to bring some excellent books to my shelves, excellent books to my channel, and I'm looking forward to everything that 2025 is going to bring. Let me know in the comments below, what are some of your goals for 2025? Is there anything you want to see from my channel in 2025? I would love to hear all those things. And if you made it this far and you don't have anything to comment, give me an emoji that makes you think of New Year's. But with that, I will wish you a very, very happy New Year. This goals video is going up on the 1st, so I hope your year is off to a fantastic start already. If you could hit that like button below, I would surely appreciate that, and subscribe if you're interested in seeing me meet some of these goals, my future TBR and channel content, and my bookish thoughts in general. But for now, I will go ahead and leave you here and see you real soon in a new video.